Welcome to Tea Leaves Tea, where hopefully all eyes are on me. Happy Valentine's Day, y'all. And if you don't have a Valentine, I guess I'll be your Valentine for a few minutes, darling. I like to talk about all things street, all things politics, and what's really rolling in the social media reels. But tonight we're gonna keep it on board with Valentine's Day. We're gonna talk about relationships. And even further than relationships, we're going to talk about marriage. I want to say that love is a beautiful thing if it's taken in the right perspective, meaning if it's patient, if it's kind, if it isn't boastful, and things of that nature. You see a lot of people on social media talking about 50-50 and how they wouldn't do 50-50 and things of that nature. And I have a total spin on that. Life experience is the best teacher. So a lot of times we listening to people that have not even experienced being in a long-term relationship or marriage, and we go and run with whatever they say. But I would like to share a couple of things with you. I noticed that a lot of people may be in long-term relationships and they never make the decision to marry. And then you'll get a response like, marriage is just a piece of paper. And that can be anything further from the truth. It's more than just a piece of paper. It's actually a covenant between two people and God. And you'll find that once you're married and you do make that commitment and that covenant before God, a lot of things that you saw that were stagnant in your life, seeming like you can't get past, those doors will be open to you. It says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and he obtains favor from God. And you'll notice that you'll, like, things that seem to be so hard for you guys to get past, you'll see the doors just opening. You'll see the favor on your lives because you're doing the right thing before God's eyes. And you got to remember that with love, you see a lot of domestic violence and a lot of people taking their partner's lives. You have to realize that love is patient and love is kind, and it's not boastful or anything like that. Meaning, you're going to go through ups and downs. Now, I'm not saying if you're in a abusive relationship, you should stay and work it out. No, you should exit that quietly and discreetly as possible and maintain some distance between you and that person. I'm talking about things that can be worked out between two people, because a lot of things deals with communication and listening. In addition to that, you have to have on an attitude or a way of thinking that how can we help each other, not what can you do for me, or can you do all of this. We're living in a time where it takes two people to pull together and be in a household to combat the things that's going on, all this inflation, raising prices, things like that. And you also find it, we're in a society where it's plagued with a lot of illnesses. You see a lot of people having strokes, heart attacks, diabetes, and other ailments that they may not be able to provide on the level that they once provided. So should be nothing for the other person to step in and take up the slack. It's all about teamwork and pulling together. And it's like a lot of things that you're watching on social media want so much for the black man and the black woman to be divided. I've never seen a culture of people that drags the opposite sex as much as we do. Now, we know all cultures go through their own disagreements because all people are human. But it's something inside of our culture that feels like it's okay to downgrade the black man or the black woman. This is learned behavior. First, we hate our hair. Then we hate other people that's getting to the bag. Then we go pit each other, and then we're pitted against each other in relationships. That needs to change. That needs to change in our culture. There's nothing better than black love. Do all relationships survive? No. But we should make the effort to make that more common. You'll see that a lot of things that are plaguing our society would change. The way that things are going with our youth, those problems would be solved if you have two parents in the household. There's nothing cute about going around and, oh, I have 500 bodies. I watched a host that had a guest, and it was like she slept with 2,000 people in 12 hours. I wouldn't even allow that on my show. I mean, there's nothing good about swapping body fluids with all these different people. And the condom doesn't block everything. How rude of me. I'm just sipping on my tea, and I haven't even told y'all what we got on the menu for tonight. Let me get to it. Hold on one second. Tonight I'm sipping on this tea, and it's té de renones. It's tea for the kidneys. Have you ever had pain in your flank area? This is like anatomically where your kidneys sit in the back, right? So if I'm not drinking enough water, and yes, I know I should drink more water, I'll get a little pain back there. So I'll go to this tea, baby. And it filters the kidneys and does wonders for me. So that's what we're sipping on tonight. But back to what I was discussing. Yeah, love is patient. Love is kind. And life experiences is the best teacher. You have to know that pulling together. I watched my great-grandmother and my grandfather, and they always pulled together. And it wasn't a boastful thing like, oh, because my grandma was a boss too now. She owned her own business, and she owned land. But it never was a boastful thing like, oh, I do this, I do that, and I do this, and I contribute this. No, they just got along. And whatever was hers was his, and whatever was his was hers. And when he was down, she was there to be there for him. And whenever she was, he was there for her. And that's where we should be going as a culture. But you'll find that people would rather the mess. They would rather the things. We get caught up in situations where we just there for the messy, the spill tea, things like that. And when you have somebody come on with a new perspective and a fresh, set of lenses, it's like, that's not gross enough. She's too good. No, if you want to see better results, you have to do different things. 2025, like I said in episode 5, we're going to finish what we started. Meaning we're going to get this thing together as a culture, as a people, as a society in whole. Learn how to treat your partners moving forward. Listen more, speak less. If you're the type to always talk, start listening, because you'll find that a lot of disagreements come from simply not listening or hearing the other person out. Marriage and in relationships prior to marriage, it's a two-way street, give and take. And all this, it can be 50-50, no. We're living in different ages and times, and you see the cost of living. You got a lot of people that resort to living out of their cars or in tiny homes and other situations. Now is the time, better than ever, to start loving and pulling together. Thank you guys for joining me. it's still Valentine's Day, so I'm gonna step out